Hi guys, today's notes are on 4.5b. We're going to continue graphing polynomial equations with a review of factored form, and then we're going to talk about standard form. Okay. So just as a review, let's take a moment and write in our x-intercepts. I would like you to try to do these on your own as much as possible and then check in with me as we go. So can you take a moment and write in your 3 x-intercepts? Okay, notice I see 3 of them. So I know the middle one is going to be x equals positive 5. If there was no 2, this would be x equals positive 3. But since there's a 2, we have to divide by 2. Okay. So if you're struggling with that one, that's really 2x minus 3 equal to 0. I'm going to add 3. Okay, and then I'll have 2x equals 3. And you guys see how we divide by 2 there. And so that's what you get. Okay, just in case you were struggling with that. Anything with no number afterwards, that's just going to be x equals 0. Let's see. I know my leading coefficient, if I take a look up here, is -1. Okay, so that I'm just going to write in right away. My multiplicity are the exponents on each of these factors, because we're going to be graphing 3 pieces of this graph, right? So x squared is going to look, anything squared is a parabola. This one has an exponent of 1, which is a line. And then this one is an exponent squared, which is a parabola. Okay. So I'm going to have 2 parabolas and a line on here. And the question is, are the parabolas on top or bottom, right? So we have to do a little bit more work to figure that out. For the y-intercept, we're going to plug in x equals 0 to our original equation. So we'll have -0 squared, and then we'll have 0 minus 5, 2 times 0 minus 3 squared. Okay. So that'll give me just -0 squared is 0 times 0, which is 0. 0 minus 5 is -5, and then this, 2 times 0 is 0, so it'll be -3 squared, which is times -3 times -3. So this will be 0 times -5 times +9, and anything times 0 is just 0. So my y-intercept is 0, which matches with my x-intercept of 0. So 5 will be all the way over here, and 3/2 will be somewhere here, because 3 divided by 2 is 1.5. Okay, so at this point, my leading coefficient is -1, from right here, which means we're going down on the right. And at x equals 5, there's going to be a line. So I'm going to have a line, but it's going to go down because we have a negative leading coefficient. Now that I'm on top, I'm going to come back for 3/2. And at 3/2, I know there's going to be a parabola. Okay? And since we're on top, the parabola is going to be on top. You guys see that connection? I have to come back to 0, okay, and at 0 there's going to be another parabola, and it's going to be on top because I haven't crossed underneath. And so the question now is, what is the degree? Well, I went down, that's 1, up, 2, 3, down, 4 up, and then 5 down again. So that's a degree of 5, because there are 5 turns. You can also check this by counting 2 x's, 1, 2, 3, and then 4, 5, because this one would get written twice. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that's essentially what you would do here. Maybe take a moment and try it over here as well. Okay. So I would suggest if you could pause the video here and try it yourself. I strongly suggest you try one yourself. The only difference is that this is going to be a cubic, and if you remember, cubic is going to go up, half down, or it could be half down, half up. Okay, so pause your video. I'll talk through this one, and then you can check your work in a moment. My multiplicity is a parabola here because it's squared. Okay. This one is going to be x equals 5 because we changed the signs, and it's going to be a line because my exponent is 1. And then this one will be x equals positive 1, but it's going to be a cubic because my exponent is 3. Y-intercept, I'm going to plug in 0. So I'll have, let's see, 0 plus 2 squared, 0 minus 5, and then 0 minus 1 cubed. So that's 2 squared. Oh, let's just write it out. Ready? 2 squared is 2 times 2. Here I have times negative 5. And then negative 1, but 3 of them. So that'll be 4 times negative 5 times negative times a negative is a positive, and we'll have a negative. So I'll be positive 20 for my y-intercept. I'll have, let's see, positive 1, 5 will be all the way here, negative 2 is somewhere here. Okay. My leading coefficient up here is positive. Okay, so that means up on the right. And I'm going to start my graph here. I'm going to go up on the right, and at 5 it's a line. Okay, so now I'm underneath, and I'm coming back to 1, and I need to draw a cubic from underneath. So this parabola will go half down, or this cubic, and this cubic will go half up. You guys see that? Okay. Which is perfect, because I have to hit 20, and then I have to come back down. That was my cubic. That's this one. Right? I did a line already. And now I have a parabola at negative 2. And I'm on top, so my parabola is going to be like that. So let's count our degrees. Ready? Down, 1, up, 2, down, 3, flat counts as a fourth one, 5 down, and 6 up. So degree is 6. Okay, so I'm going to write here, cubic equals 3 turns. Because it goes down, flat, down. Okay. So what if you're given standard form, not factored form? Right? Like here, it's everything factored. Well, luckily, we know how to factor. Okay. Now, the first thing you want to do is try GCF to make your life easier, because that's the one that a lot of students forget to use. Okay. And doing that will make everything else fall into place a little better. The next one I want you to try is your X method, and then difference of squares. After that, then you can try grouping, which is our double GCF, and A times C, double GCF. Okay, so if you take a look at example 3, you'll notice that the first thing we can do is take out a GCF of x squared. This has a 1 in front of it, so I can't divide by anything bigger than 1. Okay, so all the other numbers can be divided by 2, but if I divide by 2 here, it'll be 1 over 2, which is a fraction. These should always cancel out. So I'll have x squared, and then what I'm left with is 2x cubed, right? 5 of them, but I take away 2. Minus 4 minus 2 is 2, so 1x squared minus 8x plus 4. Now this squared, I'm going to write here in case I forget it later. Okay. Oops, sorry. I'm going to write it down here, right, because it shows up. And then now I can do my normal double GCF. So I have x squared, minus and minus, because these negatives need to cancel. Okay. And then I can't divide by 8, because 4 over 8 is a fraction, but I can divide by 4. Okay, let's see. What have we got now? So I have x squared and negative 4. And I have 2x minus 1. And 2x minus 1. GCF and GCF goes together. And then 2x minus 1 goes together. But here, I can do more. Okay, so let's write in what we did. Here we did GCF. Here is factor by grouping. And now we can do difference of squares. The hardest part is knowing when to do what. Okay, and how you do this is you have to recognize the factoring problems, which makes it a little bit trickier. So then this is x plus 2, x minus 2, and then 2x minus 1. So I'll write this over here. Right? And then I'll have x plus 2, x minus 2, and then 2x minus 1. My y-intercept, if you guys look up at the top, will be 0, because at the end there's like a plus 0 there. Okay. So I know there's going to be a y-intercept of 0. Let's make that clear. And my x-intercepts, if I take a look here, right, there's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4 of them, because there are 4 x's that I see. So there's going to be x equals 0, negative 2, positive 2, and then this one would be 1 divided by 2. I probably should have spaced those out a little bit, because if there's a squared, it's going to be a parabola. This one is a line. This second one is a line. Or the third one, sorry. And the last one is also a line. Right? Line, 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 because there's 1, 1, 1 there. And the first one's a parabola. Or like at 0, there's a parabola. Okay, so let's put our numbers in. We have 1 at 0 already. I have negative 2 here. I have positive 2 here. And then I have 1/2 over here. My leading coefficient is positive 2, so it's going up on the right. Okay, we're going to start on the right. So that means at 2, I have to check. That's a line. I have to come back for 1/2 with another line. Come back for 0, but that's a parabola. And then come back for negative 2. Okay. And that's a line at negative 2. So what's my degree? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, which matches here. And we know we're correct. Hopefully that makes sense. There are 3 problems on the back for you to try, or you can try your homework if you're ready.